Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Ed Reviews, back to talk more comics. I'm doing it from a place that I don't usually do things from. I sometimes do announcements from here, things that I just kind of come up. But I'm at work, and I've got so much stuff to do in the next couple of days that I wanted to make sure that I got to this comic review. And that's where I'm going to talk briefly about James Tynion's Something is Killing the Children, number 3. This book is so good that I as soon as I saw the opportunity to get a variant cover, I got it. And in this way, I just want to be able to support the book too. And plus that's a dope cover. So if you're not up to speed on this, Something is Killing the Children is a book by James Tynion IV, who's about to take over Batman. And that's one of the reasons why I'm reviewing it, is so that people can see that we've got a good writer coming into Batman. But not just that, this is story, literally killer story, where there's these monsters that are coming in from like basically another dimension, a demon dimension or something like that. They haven't made everything perfectly clear, and yeah, I'm back to messing with my hair. This kid, James, he survived this mass murdering. And everybody thinks he's like responsible for the deaths. You've also got Erica Slaughter, who, not her real name, who takes care of these things. She talks to a stuffed octopus that is way more than a stuffed octopus. It's basically a kind of like a totem for another being. And so she takes care of monsters, and she travels around basically taking care of these things that come out. And in this part of the story, she's been arrested. At the last part of the issue 2, the cops are at the door, and you can see the shadow of the creature that's using the stuffed animal. And it's like an octopus, so it's kind of like a Cthulhu kind of Lovecraftian kind of looking thing going on there. And so this book is very quick. It's a very quick read, like a lot of these, partially because I can't put it down, but also just so well written. I'm looking at this trying to think of anything that, how would the things coming out of the mouths of these characters, just not seem natural, because this isn't a superhero book. This is a horror book. Horror, thriller, sci-fi, supernatural, it's just crazy. But it's so well written, and at the beginning of this, so spoilers, if you haven't read this, so at the beginning of this, we got this little girl hiding. I don't believe in monsters. I don't believe in monsters. And, well, the worst happens. She's definitely, would have been able, I'm not going to spoil everything that happens in this, but we get this great scene where this guy and the bartender are talking about their kids, and how at least the one guy's kids that's on the other side of the bar drinking, and he's just talking about how his son, was always such a stand-up kid, always rose to the occasion when things were bad, and when the father's life wasn't good, his son, took responsibilities, and he's talking about how he could see the man, and not like the little kid, that you grow up with, that you take care of when they're babies, but he saw the man, and it's just such a great speech about, how this guy feels the guilt of losing a child, and how the lost potential. Meanwhile, there's this guy who his sister is missing. He was in issue 2, and he knows that she's Erica Slaughter. She's in jail, and he believes that she knows where her sister is. And if they let her go, he's gonna do what he has to do. And I just love it. It's like we have that, what are you gonna do if they let her go? What, I have to. And then they just cut to Something is Killing the Children. And this whole basic rest of the issue is her talking to the cops that picked her up. And basically we get our typical, I know how to handle this. This is beyond you. You need to let me go to do my job kind of story, part of the story. where she's like, you know that I was here after the trouble started, so you know that I'm not really the one behind this, but I'm the only one who can do this. And pretty soon you're going to get a phone call from someone saying you're going to let me go. And you're going to let me do what I have to do, and then it's all going to be over, and, but I need to know one thing. Who was the first person to go missing? And it's a little cliche, but how it's written, the exchange between this sheriff and her, like there's no action here. It's all dialogue. So I'm not really, afraid to show you the pictures. But he's got that whole, she's got the mystery thing. She can't really explain it to him because he really wouldn't understand or believe it. It's just one of those things that she's asking him to go on faith. That basically, how much worse can things get? But then it gets worse because he gets the phone call about more dead kids, which ties into the beginning of the issue. And so he, decides to put her in the drunk tank. And, he kind of puts it to her like, can you do this? Can you stop this? What do you need from me? Just stay out of my way. And he puts like one of his deputies on her and just says, kind of hang back. Meanwhile, she gets out and, hooks back up with James. And, she's wondering why isn't he in school? And he's wondering why she's talking to her stuffed octopus. And they've got this great kind of back and forth. But she, she kind of slams, she kind of shuts him up because she doesn't like all these questions. But then she kind of apologizes and it's like, look, you lost your friends and you're scared out of your mind and that's all okay. And it's not fair of me to put any of this on you. But there are more kids dying, it's getting stronger and less afraid of making a mess. So she's just trying to get this over as fast as possible. But basically she's like, we just need a lot of weapons. And this issue is called is The Angel of Archer's Peak. Well, the story, it's Something is Killing the Children, The Angel of Archer's Peak Part 3, which leads me to believe that this will be like kind of an ongoing or occasional series that'll come up here and there when he has different parts of this story. And so I feel like this is, because I felt like as you're reading this, that this could definitely be a continuing story. As we delve deeper into what Erica and her world is all about and her background, because there's no way, I don't believe this is, I think this might be like 6 issues or 5 or 6 issues, and so unless they plan on making just a very contained story and not giving us any answers, which I'm also kind of fine with. I like a little ambiguity sometimes, as long as the main story gets resolved. I don't mind a little mystery. I don't mind them wanting me, leaving you wanting more. I think a lot of times that's one of the best things that anybody can do at the end of a story is just leave you wanting more. Always drives you nuts. The only downside to that is sometimes when they finally come back, it's not as good as you wanted it to be. But, hey, what are you going to do? So, that's Something is Killing the Children, number 3. I can't recommend it highly enough, man. Like, if you're sick and tired, if you're, fed up about some of the books that are out there, this is just, it's only $3.99. It's made by Boom Studios. And, I mean, come on. This is, a big deal, actually, for Boom Studios to have this kind of book, this quality being made. And I'm trying to read more independents because I don't want it to just be Marvel and DC and Image, even though Image has got some great books like Undiscovered Country. But I think it's important to, check out as many stories, because a lot of these stories, like Something is Killing the Children, man, these are what become movies. Single movies, at least, but some of the really, really good movies, like stuff like The Crow that came, from '93, and Hellboy, and things like that. I mean, all these independent comics. So, highly, next time you're in your comic book shop, go check out the independent section. You'll probably find something. I don't mean like Savage Dragon or Spawn. I mean, those are fine too if you like them, but just kind of take a look at some of the weirder books with interesting titles, and pick up a number 1 like Redneck I've been reading, and Assassination are both books that I was enjoying quite a bit. And so anyway, that's all. This is my little speech, and my camera just went blank on me again, so I don't even know if I'm still talking to anybody right now. But because it really just went blank on me. But so anyway, if you like this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications. Otherwise, this is Weekend Reviews, and have a great day, and we will see you on the next video.